So, welcome to Chapter 1. I am Jaye Simpson and I'm probably your instructor for this course. So, I wanted to go through, since we probably won't be meeting together in person this semester, and record these lectures for you as if you were sitting in my class. So, hopefully, you've downloaded the note taking handout that goes along with this. I would encourage you to print that off if you have access to a printer. Research about how people learn has shown that for most of us, if we will handwrite our notes, that we retain about 80% more of it than if we just read it, hear it, or see it. Some of you may choose to type your notes, and that's certainly okay. It's your choice, although again, that research has shown us that again, most of us, if you're dysgraphic, then this won't apply to you, but for most of us, if we handwrite something, we're going to retain about 50% more of it than if we just than if we type it. So again, if you'd like some more information about some of that research, I'd be happy to share that with you, but I do want to try to maximize your results with and minimize your effort. So as opposed to just going through and listening to me talk about this, taking notes, taking that note-taking handout that I've prepared for you, filling in the notes, working the problems along with me as we go throughout this will really maximize your results and help you retain more of the information. So we're going to start off here with chapter 1. You'll notice that I've broken chapter 1 up into 5 small pieces as opposed to giving you one giant video like if you were sitting in my class and I talked for an hour and a half straight. I've broken it down by objective. So we're going to start off just at the beginning here. You'll fill in your notes and then you'll go on to objective 2 when you're ready, and you'll just pick right back up with your notes and they follow along directly along with my PowerPoints. So chapter 1 is really about accounting and the entire business environment, kind of a big broad overview of what accounting is. Now, accounting is one of these things that most people walk into my class with and what they think accounting is. And I spend about half the semester trying to dismantle that idea in your head, because for most people, accounting is not really what you think it is. Most of us think that accounting is taking care of the money in a business, keeping track of the money in the business, paying the bills, doing the taxes, that sort of thing. And that is a component of what accounting is, but it's not entirely what accounting is. Accounting is really the entire information system. So if you think about all of the pieces of information that a company has, that a business has, all of those fall under the accounting umbrella. And we'll talk about data analytics a little bit more in a bit, and we'll talk about how computer programming really is an accounting function in many cases, because those programs that you're writing are really accounting programs. So accounting is taking all of the information in a business, and then we quantify that so that we can try to use it to measure our business activities. Now, many of this information is financial or numerical already, but we're going to find out that a lot of it isn't. So then we're going to take all of this business activity that we've measured it, we're going to process this information into reports, and then we're going to communicate these results to the decision makers. And so this is one of those things that people think of as not being an accounting function, but primarily accountants are communicators. We are charged with, we have a fiduciary duty of communicating this information to the decision makers. And so we'll talk on the next slide about who those decision makers are. So I really love this slide because this slide really delineates kind of what people think accounting, the myth of what accounting is versus what it really is. So on the left, we see everything is very black and white. It is right or wrong. It is a binary situation. You have money, you don't have money. And this is what we think of accounting as being, is that there's some little person sitting, you can see the little drawing there to the left. Accountants have even been called bean counters, because the idea is that we sit in the back corner and we count the money, and that's kind of all that we do. That's not really what accounting is. So first of all, we need to get over this idea that accounting numbers are black and white, that they're hard and fast. What we're going to find out is the accounting numbers, specifically in the corporate accounting setting. Accounting numbers are not black and white. They are gray and fuzzy. They are many, many times based on estimates, and estimates by their very nature are not facts, so they're wrong. And we have a really hard time wrapping our minds around this because when you and I are taking care of our personal finances, our money's very black and white. Like we have money or we don't have money. You either have 20 bucks in your wallet right now or you do not. This is not a gray fuzzy situation. But you and I operate on what's called cash basis accounting, and we're going to learn that corporations don't operate on a cash basis system. They operate on a system we call accrual accounting, and we'll define that term more later on. So their numbers aren't based off of these hard facts, you have cash. They're based off of estimates, and estimates by their very nature are inherently wrong. So we're going to take all of this information, all of these estimates that are all sorts of gray and fuzzy. We're going to apply our personal, professional accounting judgments to this information so that we can turn this into good, useful information that can be reported to decision makers and help them make good decisions. So if there's nothing else that you get out of this first unit, I really need you to walk away with the idea that these accounting numbers in this corporate accounting sense, we're talking about accounting for corporations, are not black and white. They're not hard and fast. And I know that that's hard to sit with, but I need you to sit with and I need you to get comfortable with that uncomfortable idea because it's the foundation of everything that we're going to be doing from here on out. So when we talk about these users that we're communicating this information to, they can really be broken into kind of two broad categories, financial and managerial. So this class is Principles of Financial Accounting, and we're focusing on these financial accounting aspects. Next semester, hopefully, you'll take Accounting 2302 or Principles of Managerial Accounting, and you'll focus on those aspects then. So financial accounting, what we're going to spend all semester doing is providing information to external decision makers. So again, external is your key word here. External meaning people outside of the organization. So this would be governmental agencies such as the IRS and other taxing authorities that we have to report our finances to and owe money to. Creditors, so anyone that we have a debt to that we owe money to is called a creditor, and certainly we have to give them information. But as well as investors, so people that have voluntarily, willfully invested money in our business. In other words, those people who own the business, the owners of the business, they are considered outsiders. They are external to the organization. And so as financial accountants, we have a fiduciary duty, we have a moral obligation to provide our owners with information about our business because they're not going to get it from anywhere else. Now, next semester, when we get into managerial accounting, we'll talk about providing information to internal users, so managers, employees, and people inside the organization that need that information to make decisions about what products should we produce and what should we sell them for and that sort of thing. So when we talk about types of accountants, there are really several different types. The CPA is probably the most common type. Usually when you hear someone say they are an accountant, they are a CPA, but you don't have to be a CPA to work in the accounting realm. You do have to be a CPA to do a lot of functions in accounting. So we'll talk more about being a CPA as we go on throughout the semester. But other types of accountants could be a certified managerial accountant, a certified financial planner, or even a chartered global management accountant. And this is just a brief description of some different accounting jobs that we hear people talk about these and what their salary range is based on the Robert Half, who provides a lot of salary information. So a controller is typically the top accountant in a company. Financial analyst, they do a lot with stocks and things like that, analyzing bonds, stocks, purchases of other companies, that sort of thing. Again, business systems analysts, this is creating those accounting programs. Certainly tax accountants. Again, people think that all accountants do tax, and I'll be real honest, we don't. I don't do my own taxes, and I'm an accountant. Auditors, we'll talk a lot more about the audit function when we get to chapter 7. Cost accountants, those typically work in a manufacturing business, and then down to what, again, we kind of think of as being accountant, which is really the accounting clerk, the bookkeeper. Those are kind of just keeping up with the money, doing the finances of a company. Now, this data analytics, because accounting encompasses all of the information and all of that information is now computerized, data analytics is a huge, huge part of accounting now. And so, again, if we were sitting in our regular class, one of the things I do on the first day of class is go around and ask everybody what their major is. And I usually have at least a couple of people who are some sort of IT major, computer programming major, and they're being forced to take accounting and they really don't understand why. And the reason is that the vast majority of the computer programs you write are to capture accounting information. And so you have to have a very basic understanding of accounting so you know what that program needs to do. So we're not going to really get into that a lot this semester. But again, if that's something that you're interested in, accounting is a really, really great field for you to be in.